Please ignore the children outside. It's the middle of summer and they've been screaming all day. Hey guys, it's your girl T, and this is Witchy Tea, a channel where we enjoy some tea while learning about the amazing world of witchcraft and wizardry. Today we're going to be talking about grimoires. What are they, and how do we use them? But before we get into that, let's talk about the tea of the day. Okay, so today I'm drinking Arizona iced tea, mucho mango. Now I know this isn't really a tea, barely counts as a tea, but it's from a tea company. So does that count? I say yes. Anyway, it's my favorite. It's so good, especially in the middle of summer. Now, I can leave a link to it in the description if you guys want me to. Even though I feel like you can find it at any corner store, really. That's where I got mine. That's where I usually get mine. Or GoPuff. GoPuff has everything. I'll leave a link in the description box below if anyone is interested. Now, let's talk about grimoires. Oxford Dictionary describes them as a book of magic, spells, and invocations. They're basically a witch's cookbook, but for spells. You may also hear it be referred to as a book of shadows, because these terms can be used interchangeably. If you are a newbie witch, a grimoire can be a great way for you to keep track of your progress. And there's not really a right or wrong way to use one. Because grimoires are so personal, you can keep it organized in whichever way is best for you. No two witches are the same, and the same can be said for their grimoires. They can be used as a notebook for your spiritual research, a journal to chronicleize your spells and your witchy experience, or if you're a veteran witch, you could use it as a tool to share your knowledge with others. So, now that we know the basics, let me show you how I like to start my grimoires. So, I have 3 different types of grimoires that I personally use and we'll be telling you guys about today. They are all a bit different, but you can kind of start them the same way. This works for any kind of grimoire, really. So the first thing you want to do is find a notebook that speaks to your intuition and that you can use to dedicate to your spell work. This can be any type of book as long as it has clear pages for you to write in. Literally, like, my 3 types of grimoires look completely different from each other. Like, anything that speaks to you works. Now, the first thing that you should write in your grimoire is your name and just a few lines on the first page stating what you intend to use the book for. This is so that your future self and or anyone else who may come across this book knows the importance and significance of what they are holding and what they are about to read. Just a couple of lines work stating who you are and that you intend to use this book for spellcrafting should suffice, or spell work in general. A big part of witchcraft, after all, is about your intentions, setting clear intentions and letting them be known to the universe. You get out what you put in, after all, and your spell work will be intensified if you are, from the beginning, setting clear intentions. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. This is the energy that I want to put out into the universe. And so if you have a book that's so special as to put spells and your witchcraft into it, you want that to be clear. This is a special book from the beginning. I will actually show you guys the beginning of one of my grimoires just to give you an example of what this might look like. So as you can see, it says, this grimoire belongs to, and then my name. And then on the next page, it says, this spell book catalogs all spell work that I, my name, have completed as of September 30th, 2021. Detailed instructions on how to perform the spells and rituals will be organized by date performed along with the results. So you see, that's putting my name to make it personally for me and exactly what I intend to use this book for. Now, if you are a closet witch, you may want to keep this book hidden. I do still highly suggest that you set your intentions in the beginning of the book, because magic is most potent and most reliable when you are clear and honest about your intentions from the start. But obviously, everyone is different. Everyone's living circumstances are different. Everyone's life circumstances are different. And if you are in a situation where doing this or having a grimoire in general would be a risk or put you in danger at all, then don't. Your safety is a priority. Unfortunately, we utilize a practice that is still highly controversial even today in 2022 and can make an already bad living situation even worse. So again, if you aren't comfortable stepping out of the witchy closet yet, don't. Okay. Now let's take a deep breath and lighten the mood. And I'll tell you a couple of different ways that I manage my grimoires. Now, everyone is different and everyone has a different way of cataloging their spells, managing their grimoires, keeping track of their practice. I personally have 3 different grimoires that I use in my day-to-day practice. And now I'm going to get into how I use each of them individually. Now, my first grimoire, this book I like to use for anything new that I'm adding to my practice. I take notes in this book when I'm doing research and learning about new witchy things. I like to write down and chronicleize new spells in this book, write down exactly how I did them and what the results were. That's what I use this book for. Now, how I personally do it, say for example, if you just finished a spell. So I'm going to open up to a random page that is a spell that I wrote down that I did so that I can show you guys. This is a spell for a self-love potion that I did. And basically, so like the first thing that I'll do, as you can see, I write the date, and in this instance, I also wrote the time that I did this spell. I wrote the name of the spell, and this particular spell was inspired by a spell that I got from one of my spell books, so I wrote that it was inspired from X spell on this page of this book. And then I just step by step numbered, write each step of the spell. Now, first things first, I always, when I do my spells, and I'll get into this a little deeper on the video that I'll do about spirituality and witchcraft, but I always start my spells with an opening. And so on every page of my grimoire that has how to do a spell, the first step is always perform opening. This is me mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically preparing myself and my space to do magic. This would be especially important when you're conducting like seances or any other forms of witchcraft that are interacting with the spiritual plane, and like gods, goddesses, demons, ghosts, anything where you're trying to contact something that isn't of this world. You would want to do this just like asking whatever higher power that you believe in, whether that be your higher self, your ancestors, any god or goddesses that you believe in, for protection, guidance, and help during the spell work. This is not necessary. This is not mandatory. This is just what I particularly like to do during my spell work. And it's a good practice to have. You don't have to do it for every spell. Like I said, the spells that I listed, those are the ones that like you really want to, because you don't want anything trying to contact you that you didn't particularly reach out to. But you don't have to do it. It's just a good practice to have. Once I write my opening, I write how to perform the spell step by step, and I finish with my closing. My closing is basically the opposite of my opening. It's me thanking those higher powers for their protection during the spell work. It's me thanking them for their guidance, thanking them for their insight and help. And it's a way of me like closing the door. If you are interacting with the spiritual plane, this is a good way to close the door and to make sure that those spirits stay where they are. They're not going to follow you into your day-to-day life. After I do this, I like to leave room in the spell book to write a little journal entry a few days later, maybe a week later, just to say like, these are the results of the spell. This is what happened. The spell worked. The spell didn't work. Blah, blah, blah. Another way that I like to manage my grimoires is through journaling. Now, journaling can be a very rewarding way to connect with your higher self and any other divine entities that you may be trying to contact. Disclaimer, please, please, please remember to always close the door behind you whenever you are finished talking to a spiritual entity, in order to prevent unwanted parties from trying to contact you. Now, when I say close the door, I don't mean literally get up in whatever room you're in and close the door. I mean, metaphorically, if you're thinking about it, when you go to talk to a spiritual entity, you are opening a door and walking into the spiritual plane. And when you go to leave, you need to close that door in order to stop any ghosts, gods, goddesses, demons, anything from latching onto you and walking through that door with you. You want to close it so that you keep yourself safe. If you leave that door open, you open yourself up to possession, poltergeist, anything. And I speak from experience. Like, make sure that door is closed. Other than trying to speak to other entities on other planes, journaling can just be a very helpful way to keep track of your witchy progress. I like to keep this grimoire for my spiritual journaling, and anything that happens in my life, anything that I do in life that is the slightest bit witchy, I write a journal entry about in this book. It's basically like a witchy diary. This book can also be used to write about spells that you did. In this book, I don't particularly write step-by-step how to do each spell, but I do write that I did the spell. I write about my experiences and the things that I felt while doing the spell. And I also write about how I felt after the spell, things that may have happened after the spell, and whether I think the spell succeeded or failed. Of the 3 types of grimoires that I keep and that I'm talking about today, this is the one that I recommend for every witch. No matter how far you are into your spiritual journey. The first one is good for someone that does spells a lot, or even just someone who wants to replicate spells that they've done in the past. But this one is good no matter how far you into your spiritual journey. This one is a good one to have. Now, the last grimoire that I am going to talk about today is what I personally like to call a textbook grimoire. Now, this is one that more seasoned witches or witches that frequently teach other people may want to have. It can be an easy tool to share your knowledge with others without having to give out your personal grimoire. Especially because your personal grimoire will probably have a lot of shorthand that you use to write down notes from your research or notes from spells that you've done. Your personal grimoire is going to have a lot of shorthand and might not easily be understood by everybody, where this one is going to be very clear, very concise. This is how you do this. This is what tarot cards are. This is what each tarot card means. This is what each crystal means. This is what this is what cinnamon can be used for. This is what bay leaves can be used for. That's what's going to be in a textbook grimoire. They are typically more artsy. So if I open mine up and give you guys a look, just like I said in the beginning, the first page has my name and welcome to my grimoire, just stating that this is a grimoire. Now, I only just started to keep this grimoire, so there's not very much in it. As you can see, it's very artsy, like I said. And yeah, this page I'm planning to write down the different meanings for the major arcana, but I haven't gotten time to do that yet. This is a binder so that I can more easily organize what goes where, and for chance if I do a bunch of stuff about the major arcana and I forget something, I can add it in where it goes as opposed to just writing it in the back because there's no more space like a regular notebook. I can add things in where I think they should go. And I have a bunch of pieces of construction paper in here, paper that I can use to make more pages in my grimoire. All in all, grimoires can be a pretty useful tool in a witch's arsenal. Remember a spell you liked and want to replicate it? Just check for it in your grimoire. Don't like the effects of a spell? Write it down so that you remember not to do it again. No matter what type of witch you are, having a grimoire will make your life a lot easier. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment telling me what you want me to talk about next time. Be kind to one another, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I love this so much. I'm pretty. Okay.